Want some ways you can edit your SVGs for your Cricut projects? Hi, I'm Shanice with Hypnotic Glamour Designs, and I help crafters just like you save time and frustration with files for their projects by using high quality, ready to cut images. By the end of this video, you will have the confidence you need to edit an SVG for your craft project in 3 easy ways in just minutes. Before we get into it, today's featured freebie is the free SVG library, which you can gain access to by clicking on either the button below this video or clicking on the link in the description of this video. So if you're new here, go ahead, comment a hashtag new. If you're watching with us live, comment a hashtag live. Or if you're watching the replay, comment hashtag replay. And this engagement just helps me to reach more crafters just like you. All right, so there are 3 things that you need in order to edit an SVG for your Cricut projects. You need the right file type, you need the right layer, and you need the right tools. So let's get into these. So the first thing you need is the right file type. So a lot of times I see people trying to use a file that is not a vector file, meaning not an SVG. They try to use a raster type file, such as a PNG or a JPEG. Problem with these are they are just flattened images, so it's just one layer of all the colors. You don't have everything separated out for you so you can edit. And here's an example right here of a crafter just like you uploaded the wrong file type and then it does not have the desired result. So using the right file type that ensures compatibility with Cricut Design Space. So when you use the right file type, you can feel secure knowing that your designs will translate seamlessly into the Cricut Design Space software and allow you to focus on your creative expression rather than trying to troubleshoot and figure out what's wrong. So the image you see here on the screen is an example of the correct file type that you need in order to edit your images. And this is an SVG. And as you see, the only option when you upload the SVG is the cut image, and everything's already separated out onto its own layer as far as the colors go. The next thing that you need is the right layer. So a lot of times people don't realize when they try to edit something specifically is that either everything's all grouped together or they're not clicking on the specific layer that they want to edit. So what they do is they click on the project and then they try to make an edit, but it doesn't work or it does something other than what they have intended. So for example, as you see here, this person, they are trying to edit something and they were trying to delete certain parts, but when you don't have the correct layer selected, instead of deleting that selected part, you'll delete the entire image. So let's see, here's an example of a image that has the layers already separated out for you and the correct layer selected. So as you see here, this pencil, remember from our previous slides, was previously yellow. So if you wanted to edit that, you want to make sure that you click on the specific layer, which is this one right here, to change that to red in this case. So when you're using the right layer or you're working with the right layer, that allows you to specifically edit what it is that you want without accidentally like manipulating something else. And also when you use the correct layer, that gives you that confidence and that satisfaction because you have control over the image and you're editing the individual elements within the image. And the next thing you need is the right tool. So this is a big one. I see a lot of people just not really knowing what tool to use because they just really simply don't understand how the tools work, when to use them, and what they do. I do actually have a course on that teaches you how to use the tools in Cricut Design Space to create your own designs, which I'll leave a link for that below if you're interested. But as you see here in the example, this person, they're trying to make a cutout, as you see here on the right, but they don't know what tool to use in order to accomplish that. So when you have the right tool that allows you to correctly modify your SVG for your specific requirement or your specific need, and that gives you that surge of joy or excitement because you're able to effortlessly manipulate the SVG file when you use the right tool. Okay, so which one of these have you struggled with? Have you struggled with using the right file type? If so, put a 1 in the comments. Have you struggled with using the right layer? If so, put a 2 in the comments. Or have you struggled with using the right tools? If so, put a 3 in the comments. Okay, so here's just a quick example of some edits that you can make rather quickly and easily in Cricut Design Space once you have all those 3 elements in mind: the right file type, the right layer, and working with the right tools. So let's go ahead and edit some SVGs, and you'll get the 3 different ways that you can edit SVGs. So let's switch into Cricut Design Space and we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so here are the 3 different designs we're going to be editing. So we'll start with the original, and then you'll see me go through each of those things that you need in order to edit the SVG and see how we can change that. So let's start with the pencil. Let me go ahead and bring that on the canvas. All right, so we've got our pencil. Let's go ahead, scale that down. And this, of course, is an SVG file. All the files that we're going to be working with today are SVG. So we have that first part down, the right file type. Let's just rotate this. And now we want to change the pencil to blue. So we want to make sure that we're selecting the right layer for that. So the specific layer is this one right here for the pencil. So let's go ahead and change that to blue. So now we have our blue pencil. And now we want to make an outline around the name of the teacher. So we want to make sure we select the right tool for that. So first, let's go ahead and put in our text. Teacher's name. Let's make this just a little bit bigger so it's easier to work with for now. Same with the name. Center that up nicely. Okay, so we want to make the outline. So for that, we want to make sure we use the correct tool. So to make an outline, we're going to use the offset tool. And let's make that offset a little bit smaller. Fine. And then we can just change the color accordingly. Next. All right, so we've edited that design. Let's move that off to the side. Let's work on our next one, which is this apple. So let's bring in the SVG. So we've got our correct file type, the SVG. Make that more to scale for what we need. A little smaller. Okay. So what we want to do with this is we want to make that cut out of the W in the teacher's name. So we want to make sure we're doing two things: selecting the correct layer so we can make that on the correct part, and then selecting the correct tool to do that. So let's go ahead and type out all of our text here, and then we will cut out the W. Let's make that bigger. So let's go ahead and line these up to make sure it's nice and centered there. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to cut out the W from the apple, so we have to make sure we're selecting the correct layers to do that. So the layers we want to manipulate are specifically the apple, just the apple, and then that W. So let's just go ahead and subtract, and there we got that out. Let's bring this forward. Bring to front. Bring that to the front. Let's just change the color. Okay. So we have that. To the side. All right, now let's work on this teacher. So let's go ahead and locate the SVG. Get all that down. That's a decent size. All right. So in this case, as you see here, this is just a single layer file. We want to make multiple colors. So in order to do that, we need, there's only one layer, so we've got that part down. There's no other layer we need to select. So at least not yet. What we want to do is use the contour tool, so then we can make multiple colors out of this. So that is the correct tool. So let's go ahead and duplicate. So now we have two. And let's go ahead. In this case, we want to make the middle removed. Let's see how that looks. Let's take this out. A couple more pieces. Okay, so we have that. Let's move on to this piece. To make it simple, we're going to hide all the contours and then just bring back what we want. See how that looks. Now we can change that to the color of our choice. And that is the simplest way to split the colors like that. All right. So there's three ways that we have edited an SVG using three different types of customizations. So let's talk about the benefits. Let's just switch back here. Okay, the benefits. So when you have these three crucial elements, the right file type, the right layer, and the right tool, that gives you the security that you need to know that your designs will seamlessly translate into Cricut Design Space, the confidence that you need to gain control over the individual elements within the SVG that you want to edit, and then it gives you that joy and excitement of just being able to effortlessly, there goes that word, manipulate the SVG with the correct tools. So some announcements. Make sure that you are subscribed and click that notification bell, because we do have another video coming up where you will learn the 4 components of a successful crafting journey. So if you've been overwhelmed, if you've been wanting to throw your Cricut out the window, if you're just downright frustrated and it just completely just in over your head with this whole crafting process, I've got something coming for you that will help you eliminate that overwhelm, and you can be able to craft with confidence once you have the four essential components of the successful crafting journey. So make sure that you're subscribed and click the notification bell, because that's going to be the next video. And then of course, access the free SVG library. You can just go down and click on either the button below if you're watching this on the page, or if you're watching this right here on YouTube, just click in the description and you'll be able to gain access to that free SVG library. So if you like this video and you want a simple checklist that you can use to find ready to cut designs in just minutes, go ahead and check out the playlist that's on your screen right now.